The ancient Greeks believed in fate, meaning that each individual person had their own destiny and their lives were predetermined. They believed that each person's lifespan and daily responsibilities were assigned by the universe or by nature. In the eyes of the Greeks, human beings could not map their own destiny, but rather it was determined by the gods. The Greeks understood this phenomenon through the fates, Clotho, Lachesis and Atropos, who would determine when a life existed, how long it would last for, and how it would end. For mortal people, their life took the form of a thread. At the birth of a human being, a thread of life was spun on Clotho's spindle. Lachesis would thread the life of the allotted person with her measuring rod, determining how long the individual would be alive for, and Atropos, meaning the inevitable, was the cutter of the thread of life. She could choose the manner of each person's death and when their time had come. As she cut the thread, she would end the life of the allotted person and would begin the deceased's journey to the underworld. The fates would not intervene in human affairs in the ways that the gods did. All the fates knew was that when a life was coming into existence and when a life would end. This system could not be changed. However, Zeus was the only godly figure that could change one's destiny, as he is the father of the fates and the king of the gods. However, some poets believe that the fates were the daughters of Nyx, the goddess of the night. According to some Greek writers, a man in his freedom was able to challenge the fates and influence their power to end a life, suggesting that man does have free will in a world determined by the gods. The fates were depicted as old and ugly and measuring and cutting the threads of life. They could barely walk and would often hold scepters and wear crowns on their heads. In particular, Clotho carried a roll of thread called a spindle, Lachesis held a staff, and Atropos held a scroll, a wax tablet, a sundial, and a cutting instrument ready to cut the thread of life. The three fates were very powerful as they killed the giants Agrios and Thun with bronze clubs during the war between the giants and the Olympians. As goddesses of fate, they would sometimes tell the future, with their ministers being soothsayers and oracles. The fates had three known temples, one in Corinth, one in Sparta, and one in Thebes. There were also many altars to the fates, with the most significant one being in Olympia near the altar of Zeus Moirai.